have safer communities if we choose to control cannabis, to regulate it, and to tax it so that those monies, California finally gets its fair share and we take those profits away from our criminal drug cartels.
Crack worse for a person than marijuana?
I believe all illegal drugs are bad.
Is methamphetamine worse for somebody's health than marijuana?
I don't think any illegal drug is good.
Is heroin worse for someone's health than marijuana?
Again, all drugs.
I mean, either yes, no, or
drugs.
I don't know. I mean, if you don't know, you can look this up. You should know this as the chief administrator for the Drug Enforcement Agency. I'm asking you a very straightforward question. Is heroin worse for someone's health than marijuana?
All illegal drugs are
that it may have some addictive properties, but it's not intensely addictive. For example, animal studies, there are animal models for looking at drugs of addiction. And whereas it's very easy to train an animal to self-administer morphine or cocaine, or nicotine even, it's very, very difficult to get an animal to self-administer THC. In fact, you have to kind of trick it sometimes to do that by getting it firstly dependent on cocaine maybe, and then you can switch to THC, and then you will be able to get it to self-administer THC. But it's very difficult to train animals to self-administer. Why this is remains to be established. One possibility is that it has a mixture of rewarding and aversive properties, and it can be
Hi, I'm Nadia Swaby with the Marijuana Policy Project. Welcome to Marijuana 2-Minute Truths. Today's question is a simple yet complicated one. Is marijuana addictive? The short answer is not very. In 1972, the famous White House commissioned Schaefer report, which by the way called for the decriminalization of marijuana, concluded that marijuana can lead to psychological but not physical dependence. Since then, some studies have documented withdrawal symptoms among heavy users who quit, including sleep disturbances and anxiety, but nothing like the severe physical withdrawals that accompany addiction to heroin or alcohol. What does the Institute of Medicine have to say about marijuana addiction? In 1999, the Institute of Medicine, in a report published by the National Academy of Sciences, concluded the following. Compared to most other drugs, dependence among marijuana users is relatively rare. Take a look at this chart that accompanied the report. As you can see, far fewer marijuana users become dependent than users of other drugs like tobacco or heroin. The Institute of Medicine's report concluded, in summary, although few marijuana users develop dependence, some do, but they appear to be less likely to do so than users of other drugs, including alcohol and nicotine. And marijuana dependence appears to be less severe than dependence on other drugs. But what exactly does dependence mean? Is a frequent user necessarily dependent? Dependence is measured by how difficult it is for the user to quit, the relapse rate, the percentage of people who eventually become dependent, the rating users give their own need for the substance, and the degree to which the substance will be used in the face of evidence that it causes harm. Using these parameters, let's look at the Henningfield Dependence Rankings, which are named after the former chief of clinical pharmacology at the Addiction Research Center of the National Institute of Drug Abuse. As you can see, marijuana is clearly less addictive than alcohol or nicotine, both far more dangerous substances that are both completely legal. This has been your 2-Minute Truth. Marijuana is about as addictive as coffee and leads to dependence in only a small proportion of users and far less than alcohol or cigarette users. Please don't forget to email us your questions. Send them to socialnetwork@mpp.org with the subject line Ask Nadia. See you next time.